Okay, so when you're doing this, you will have your trig chart in front of you. You will have your unit circle, so on. So if I were doing that first one, I'd be looking, okay, what's the sign of an over 6? Sign of an over 6 is a half. Then to determine whether it's positive or negative, I'd have to think of what quadrant 5 pi over 6 is in. So this is where I would think, okay, 6 pi over 6 is right here. So if I'm coming around counterclockwise, 5 pi over 6 is here. So I'm in the second quadrant because of my, all students take calculus. Sign is positive in the second quadrant, so my answer ends up positive a half. Cos of an over 3 from the chart is a half. 4 pi over 3, I would think 3 pi over 3 is right here on the line at pi. So 4 pi over 3 is third quadrant. Cos is negative in the third quadrant. Tan of an over 6 is radical 3 over 3, again, from my chart. Negative pi over 6, you start at 0, you're going negative 30 degrees. So you're in quadrant 4. Tan is negative in quadrant 4. This is a good one to look at. Sec of negative 3 pi over 2. So you are going negative 270 degrees. So clockwise 270 degrees. So that ends up here at 0, 1 on your unit circle. Cos is the x coordinate. So if I were doing, let's say, cos of negative 3 pi over 2, that would be 0. Sec of negative 3 pi over 2 is the reciprocal of cos. So the reciprocal of 0, you have to make that 0 over 1. That's 1 over 0, which is undefined. Cos of an over 3, a half. 6 pi over 3 is here because it's 2 pi. So if you're coming around, 5 pi over 3 is here in the fourth quadrant. Cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. Again, because of your all students take calculus. Sec of an over 3, so you're going to look at your chart. Sec of an over 3 is 2. 3 pi over 3 is here, which means 2 pi over 3 is here. In quadrant 2, sec is negative. Cosec of an over 3 is 2 radical 3 over 3. So let's think about this. 6 pi over 3. Over 3. 6 pi over 3 is here at 2 pi. So if we're coming around, 7 pi over 3 is 1 more than 6 pi over 3. So we go into quadrant 1. In quadrant 1, everything is positive. Cotan of an over 6. Cotan of an over 6 is radical 3. 12 pi over 6 is here at 2 pi. Remember, my even pi's end up on the right here, like where 0 would be. Coming around, 11 pi over 6 is before 12 pi over 6, putting me in quadrant 4. In quadrant 4, cotan is negative. Cos of an over 3 is, I'm just going to put this down here, is a half. So negative angle, so let's think about it. Negative 3 pi over 3 is here at negative pi. So negative 4 pi over 3, we're going clockwise, which we are, negative angle tells me to go clockwise. That's in the second quadrant. Cos is negative in the second quadrant. Sine of 3 pi over 2. Whenever you get your over 2's, you're on the unit circle. 3 pi over 2 is down here at 0, negative 1. Sine is the y-coordinate, so my answer is negative 1. So remember, on the unit circle, it goes cos theta, comma, sine theta. Cos is the x, sine is the y. Tan theta is sine theta over cos theta, or the y over the x. Okay. Sine of an over 3 is, and again, I'm going to put this down here, is radical 3 over 2. 8 pi over 3, we would think 9 pi over 3 is there at 3 pi. So 9 pi over 3 is 3 pi, so it goes over on the left. 8 pi over 3, since we're going counterclockwise, is before 9 pi over 3, which means quadrant 2. If I'm in quadrant 2, sine is positive in quadrant 2. Sine of pi over 2 is on the unit circle, 0, 1. Sine is the y-coordinate, so the answer is 1. Sine of an over 4 is radical 2 over 2. 8 pi over 4 is here at 2 pi. So if you're going counterclockwise, 9 pi over 4 ends up here, beyond 8 pi over 4. So quadrant 1, which means everything's positive in quadrant 1. Cos of an over 4, radical 2 over 2. 8 pi over 4 is here at 2 pi. So if you're coming around, 7 pi over 4 is before 8 pi over 4. So you're in quadrant 4, and since it's cos is positive in quadrant 4. Cos of pi, that's anytime you're pi or pi over 2, you're on the unit circle. So pi is here at negative 1, 0. So it is the x-coordinate. Cos of pi, cos is the x-coordinate. Tan of pi over 2, okay, pi over 2 is here at 0, 1. Tan of pi over 2 is sine of pi over 2 over cos of pi over 2, which is the y-coordinate over the x-coordinate. 1 over 0 is undefined. Tan of pi, well, we could go right here. We already got pi drawn. Pi is at negative 1, 0. Tan is sine theta over cos theta. So you're going the y over the x. 0 over negative 1 is 0. Sine of 3 pi, well, sine of 3 pi is going to be the same place sine of pi is, right? 3 pi is in the same place pi is. All my odd pi's correspond with pi. So sine is the y-coordinate, so it's 0. Cos of negative 4 pi, negative 4 pi. So that just means we're going clockwise. So if this is 0, here's negative pi, here's negative 2 pi, here's negative 3 pi, here's negative, right? So it's still, my even pi's are over here. This is the 0.10 on the unit circle. Cos is the x-coordinate, so my answer is 1. Tan of an over 4 is radical 2 over, or no, sorry, just kidding. Tan of an over 4 is 1. And then we want to think, okay, so 36 pi over 4, since that's 9 pi, it's where my odd pi's are. So if I'm coming around, 37 pi over 4 is in the third quadrant. And since this is tan, tan is positive in the third quadrant. Okay, these problems. Tan theta is negative 12 over 5. So what I want to think about is tan is negative. Cos theta is greater than 0, which means cos theta is positive. So if cos is positive, tan is negative. This is where tan is positive. That means we have to be in quadrant 4. So I draw my triangle in quadrant 4. Tan theta, we know, is 12 over 5. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So opposite the theta is 12, adjacent is 5. We have to do Pythagorean theorem to get the hypotenuse. Okay, so this is 13. So it says find sine theta, find sec theta. Okay, sine, we're in the 4th quadrant, so it's negative. Sec, we're in the 4th quadrant, so it's positive. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to go opposite over hypotenuse. So that'd be negative 12 over 13 is my sine theta. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So sec is hypotenuse over adjacent. So I'm going to go hypotenuse over adjacent. Okay. So cosec theta is positive. Cotan theta is negative. This tells me I'm in quadrant 2. Cosec theta, let's see, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so cosec is hypotenuse over opposite, and it's 3 over 1, which tells me when I draw my triangle in quadrant 2, my hypotenuse should be 3, my opposite should be 1, my adjacent I don't know. So 1 squared plus x squared equals 3 squared. X squared is 8. X is the square root of 8, which is 2 radical 2. I got to find cos theta. I got to find tan theta. Second quadrant, cos is negative. Second quadrant, tan is negative. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cos theta is negative. Let's see, adjacent, we figured this out to be 2 radical 2 over hypotenuse is 3. Tan is opposite over adjacent. Opposite the theta is 1. Adjacent is 2 radical 2. Tan theta is negative. Radical 2 over this is 2 times 2, right? A radical 2 times a radical 2 is 2. So this is 2 times 2, or 4. So that is the tan theta. All right, that's it for the review sheet. Study your chart, study your unit circles, study what's positive where, and you should be good. Bye.